Homage to the lineage gurus, to the Venerable Mang Liao Ming, to Master Sakya Zhengkong, to His Eminence 16th Karmapa, and Master Dupten Darji. Homage to the three jewels of the altar, and homage to the main deity of Homa, Pure Land's three deities, Namo Amitabha Buddha, Guan Yin Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Bodhisattva. Simu, all Dharma masters, Dharma educators, Dharma teachers, Dharma assistants, temple directors, and all disciples present here and over the webcast, and our guests of honor. And from Taiwan government, the Chief Secretary Cheng and Mrs. Cheng. And from Academia Sinica, Professor Zhu and Mrs. Zhu. And from National Taiwan Science and Technology University, Professor MBA, Professor Lin. And from National Cheng Kung University, the Electrical Engineering Department, Electricity Department, Professor Wang. And from National Yunlin Science and Technology University, also the Electrical Department, Professor Wang. And from Pingtung, the Daren Science and Technology University, Assistant Professor Ye. And from National Tsinghua University, Dr. Li and Mrs. Li. And from Tainan City, the DPP party, the Chief Director Tsai, and senior in His Holiness alumni, who is also the Vice President of the Chamber of Commerce in Philadelphia, USA, Mr. Zhang, and the same classmate, alumni of His Holiness Mr. and Mrs. Zhu, and also Mr. and Mrs. Tsai. President of the Lotus Light Charitable Society, Mr. Wu. Producers for the Illuminating Your Heart of CTI TV, Mr. Bekasu. And producers for the Platform Sutra and the Development Stages of Tantrayana, Master Lian Yue, and the host, Dharma Sister Pei Jun.
My sister, Liu Sheng-yen.
And Mr. Qizong and his mother. Good afternoon. How do you do? Last week, what Homa did we have? The Maha Pratisara. But before that, that was the White Padma Kumara. So during the Padma Kumara Homa, fire offering ceremony, the night before that, there was Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that descended and told me that they would come to the ceremony the following day. But was checking on them, but they didn't come.
就英文说谎怎么讲 ？Right.
So in English, what is
日
lying?
本话怎么讲？
How about in Japanese?
嘘。日本话是嘘。
In Japanese, it's uso, lie. So the Bodhisattvas lied to me.
我就这几天我就跟菩萨
So this few days,
菩萨有降临，这个阿弥陀佛、观世音菩萨、大势至菩萨都有降临。
that Amitabha Buddha, Kuan Yin, and Mahastama all descended. So I asked them, why did you lie to me?
他说有啊，
And they said,
我说没有。
oh, we did come. And I said,
我说
no,
有啊，我们化为两只鸟，
we
飞到
transformed
大
to
殿里
become a couple of birds who was flying in this main hall
中间飞出去呀，
and then flew out from the main door.
化为两只，
So we became the two heavenly birds,
绕了
one on the left, on the right,
然后又飞
and
出
they
去。
circled around a couple of times and then flew out.
哇，这些人看到。结果我就转怒为笑，
So I turned
很生
my
气的。
upset
你们说要来庆
into
祝
smile
大白莲花童子，
because you told me that you were coming to celebrate the Padma Kumara Homa fire offering ceremony, but you didn't come, and I thought that was very strange.
是没有看到，
So I didn't see,
看到他们飞进，
but a lot of people saw.
大家都看到，只有我没有看到。
Only I didn't see.
还有蝴蝶啊，
And butterflies?
哦，就是
Oh,
27啊，这是27出家27年的纪念，
so the 27th
蝴蝶也有。
anniversary for my monkhood, there were butterflies. Where were they?
因为这里
Right here?
最后跑哪里去了？
And then where did they go?
最后到那边去了，
And then went over there,
在我后面呢，
behind me.
有蝴蝶，
There were butterflies
对不对？
and celestial
同
birds
天，
on the same day.
果然他们有来庆祝。
So they came to celebrate.
好，我们先谈一下这个。
So let's first talk about
三林国中的这个言音歌唱，
the song and dance competition at the Sanlin High School.
廖上师呢，莲杰上师啊，
And
他就
Master Lian Jie
穿非常短的，哇，比谢金燕还要短。
Master Lian Jie invited
而且是
an MC that was wearing a very short dress
露出，稍微有点要露出
and
左
exposing her left shoulder and almost her left
廖上师
breast.
是很好意，他说
And Master Liao
夹克，
had good intention and asked her to
但是
wear
跟
a
廖
small
上师没有
jacket.
关系的，
And I told him it's
他穿
okay
这样子，
that she wore it. She wore like that as long as our heart doesn't move.
心不动
If our
就
hearts
不犯戒。
are affected, then we are breaching the precepts.
所以是
And because Simu is sitting next to me, of course, my heart is unmoved. And I also looked down.
看不往上看。
I didn't look up.
这一回我们去这个三林国
And then we went to Sanding Junior High School. And there were also 2 artists that were performing. And then 2 men also performing. And this time, they wore a white bed sheet. You know, you can't even see her hands, cannot see her feet. It's just a head. From here down, it's bed sheet. So whose idea was that? So you cannot see anything. So for the 2 female performers, you could only see their heads. Did you ask them to cover the whole body? Oh, that's how they were. So, President of the Lotus Light Charitable Society, Mr. Wu, please answer. Because he heard the example of Master Lian Jie, so he asked them to wear white bed sheet. When I saw them, I thought I saw ghosts. Just like the ghosts floating out. So scary. Oh. You don't understand Grandmaster's heart. One is to the other extreme, and the other is to the other extreme. But as artists, there are 2 beautiful performers, but they're wearing that white sheet. It's nothing to see then. So too much or too little are both not good. Too much, but if you don't get affected, then that's fine. But if it's too little, then it's too little. So, actually, my purpose of going south is to see these 2 performers. But little did I know, I only saw their heads. So, I'm just kidding, of course. So the native song and dance competition was really beautiful. Their native songs, Hakanese songs. I know. The song means I am a Hakanese. Hakanese is a Chinese tribe. That song was also nice. It's also very nice. And the songs sang by the natives were also very nice. I was very pleased that day. So today, I would like to first mention that too much or too little are both not good. We have to be just right. And also with dignity, just right. You don't get attached to whether too much or too little. That actually any phenomena of the world is very beautiful, is perfect. So that's the attitude of the spiritual cultivators, the enlightened spiritual cultivators, that everything is fine. There is nothing that's bad. There's nothing that's called evil or wicked. Once you gain enlightenment, you would know that the opposites of good and bad don't exist. Only the absolute is called enlightenment. Any dualism or opposites do not exist. And today we perform the Homa of the Pure Land three deities. There was a great tantric master who went to China, to the Middle Kingdom in the past. A long time ago, Pai Puran and Master Tuptanima. That was a long time ago. And Master Nona, who propagated Buddha Dharma in the Middle Kingdom and was very famous. And someone asked him, what is the greatest tantric Dharma in Tantrayana? And he said a statement, the greatest Dharma practice in Tantrayana is the Amitabha, great Dharma practice. So today we perform the Dharma of Amitabha and Kuan Yin and Mahastama. And Amitabha is my father. And Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastama Bodhisattva are my mothers. And the Dharma of these three deities, if you became the primary sponsors or primary requesters, you would be lucky. You would have good fortune. And all your ancestors would be delivered in this ceremony. And they all would be guided to the pure Buddha lands. So the great Dharma of Amitabha Buddha, Kuan Yin Bodhisattva and Mahastama Bodhisattva, three of them together, this is very rarely encountered. Maybe you thought they are just very common. Amitabha and Kuan Yin are very common, and Mahastama is very infrequent. But little did people know that these three deities embody the greatest Dharma. If you let go of these three deities, then there are no Dharma, no other Dharma. You can say there are no other Dharma. So this is one of the most important Dharma. According to Master Nona, if you have read the diaries of Master Mona, he had once said that the greatest Dharma is the Dharma of Amitabha Buddha, Kuan Yin or Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, and Mahastama Bodhisattva. That Amitabha Dharma is the greatest Dharma.
我不敢讲哦，我告诉你哦，今天我们来的人当然是很多了。
Of course, we have many people here too today.
有民众来了多少人？
And the spirits,
6万。
the spirits who attended were 60,000 of them.
这个叫阴盛阳衰。
So the spirit beings are more than the living beings. So the spirit beings knew that this is the greatest Dharma practice. They attended, and when they passed through the Homa fire, they are purified. All the karma is eradicated. So all the Dharma boats were full. And there were 60,000 Bardo spirits were guided to the Pure Land.
Waste, so happy country. 对，我讲的是希望极乐世界。它有这个名字。
So happy country. There is a term for that in Buddhism, but this is how I call it. Western paradise.
就是 waste so happy country， 希望极乐世界啊。
West so happy country
在读大学的时候
is Western
英文没有很好
paradise.
都是用拼的。
I didn't study English well in college.
大会城
I use phonetics. So the person senior in our school came from Philadelphia. That's too long. So I remember it with Chinese words.
那就对了。英文不好，你们也鼓掌。
Even my English is bad, you also clap.
我去美国30年，全部用拼音。
I've been to the States. I've been living in the United States for 30 years, and I use Chinese words like sleeping. Use the Chinese words which mean dead inside the bottle. Sounds like sleeping.
不过我记得很清楚啊 ，sleeping。
But then I would remember it clearly.
大家都另外有很多很长的讲 businessman， 这个做生意的人。
There's some that's quite long, like businessman,
经济
economy.
我就用拼的，这金融海啸我就 economy tsunami。
No.
tsunami 就是海啸。
Yeah,
tsunami。我是用这样子拼的。我在美国讲英文都是用拼的，但是发音他们讲。
That's how I speak English in the States. But they said that Master Lu, your pronunciation is quite good.
这个是讲好笑的。
So that's just for laugh. So the Pure Land's 3 deities, whoever that registered for the primary sponsors were very fortunate. And there were 60,000 Bardo spirits that passed by the Homa fire and got onto the Dharma boat, and the Dharma boat was full, and they were all guided to the pure Buddha lands. But those who are not primary sponsors today, maybe you have to wait a few years. Usually when you register for Bhadra deliverance, only 1 or 2, but this time it's for the whole clan. So there were 60,000 of them. So it's not a small matter. This is an incredible ceremony. So those who attend are very lucky, but those who don't attend, we cannot say they are unfortunate. They still fortunate. And those who watch over the webcast would also have their luck. So we visualize the main deity, which is Amitabha Buddha, which is red, deep red, and Kuan Yin is white, and Mahastama can be blue or purple. And things held in their hands, you can notice that Amitabha Buddha is holding a golden lotus, and Kuan Yin Bodhisattva is holding a vase with the willow branch, and Mahastama is holding a lotus bud, lotus blossom that's not open yet, still a bud. And these 3 deities descended last night. They descended last night and told Grandmaster, actually, it's the easy path to go to the Western paradise. Just by reciting the epithet, the Amitabha Buddha, you can be reborn in the Pure Land. And then the key point is to be focused, concentrated. And these 3 deities told me that the single-pointedness is most difficult. So attaining Buddhahood by chanting Amitabha Buddha is the same as if you're holding a handful of sand, and then you open it, and the grains of sands that fall to the ground are not delivered to the Pure Land, but those who are still attached to the hand, only those are delivered to the Pure Land. So only the grains of sands, only a little bit of sand that's still attached to the hand, only those represent the spirits that's delivered to the Western paradise. So it's really not easy to be reborn in the Western paradise. Why? Because the Buddha told me that single-pointedness is really not easy, especially at the time of death. It's not easy at all. So at the time of death, if you have a good spiritual guide, and keep telling you that you have to be single-pointed and you need to be mindful of Amitabha Buddha or 3 deities or 1 deity Amitabha. And when you're mindful of him, then you are concentrated. Then you're single-pointed. If you don't think of him, then you start having thoughts running. Don't think that by listening to the Dharma teaching, you don't have any other thoughts. That's not the case. The thoughts always exist, always running in your brain. Within a few minutes, they're definitely there. And sometimes not even 1 minute. they keep coming. It's non-ceasing, it's non-stop. One thought, another thought, another thought, another thought, another thought. It's never ending. Once they went to the Rainbow Lei Tsang temple in Seattle, to the retreat center there, and he applied for the 7 days for retreat. And then we told him, why don't you try 3 days first for retreat? And he went in, and half a day, he left the retreat room, and he said it was very difficult because sitting there, he keeps have running thoughts. So if you want chanting for 7 days, actually you continue to have thoughts after thoughts after thoughts. You only know that you have so many thoughts when you sit down. That's why single-pointedness is very difficult. Amitabha Buddha told me. So why sentient beings? It is impossible for sentient beings to go to the Western paradise because they cannot be single-pointed. And how can you be single-pointed? I asked the Buddha. And the Buddha said, you start first with single-pointedness for 1 second. 1 second. Close your eyes. Visualize Amitabha Buddha appearing. And recite Amitabha Buddha. 1 second. 3 seconds. Visualize Amitabha Buddha. Amitabha, Amitabha, Amitabha. 3 seconds. If you can be focused, single-pointed for 3 seconds, you progress. Not too long. In a day, 3 seconds for 3 times. Recite Amitabha Buddha. Visualize Amitabha Buddha. If you can be totally single-pointed once, you do it for the 2nd time, the 3rd time, 4th time, 5th time. So divide it throughout the day for many times. Morning, noon, evening, night, before bedtime. And then you increase the times throughout the day. So Amitabha Buddha said, this is the key formula to be single-pointed. Don't try it for an hour at once. 1 minute. If you can reach 5 minutes, that's already incredible. If you can recite Amitabha Buddha for 5 minutes, visualize Amitabha Buddha for 5 minutes, that's incredible. 7 minutes, that's incredible. Try it. If you can do it for 5 minutes, be totally mindful of Amitabha Buddha and continually reciting Amitabha Buddha. That's incredible. That's meditation. So you should start this way in meditation or samadhi, samudha. That's stopping. You stop all the running thoughts, the afflicting thoughts, stopping them. If you don't do it this way, to study or to train in single-pointedness for a very short time, it would be impossible for you to be single-pointed for a long time. If you think that you're good and you can do it for half an hour, that's extremely great. But try it. Try to quiet down your thoughts and try it. Visualize Amitabha Buddha holding a golden lotus. Try it. then all of a sudden there's a thought appearing, and the thought would come. But when I just recited, I was single-pointed. But then there would be a thought appearing. Sometimes the thought is important, and sometimes it's unimportant. Sometimes you would think, oh, I'm cooking something in the kitchen. Sometimes, inadvertently, that in the baseball field, the image appeared. And these are all true. Any thought could happen. It would appear in your brain. Sometimes you see people or things, or you think of this or that. Think of this and that and all kinds of things. Have you ever been in meditation? Please raise your hand. How long can you do it without any single thought? Not even the subtle ones, things that you may be unconscious about. Have you ever been in that for half an hour? In such meditation? Maybe during retreats. Some nodded their heads. You don't even have to, you cannot even think that you want to go to Western paradise. That you're doing this because you want to be reborn in a Western paradise. You cannot even think of that. Only then it's called single-pointed. Any kind of thought that appeared, that would not be called single-pointed. You cannot have any thought whatsoever. You only focus on the Buddha's look, appearance. Now your mouth continually chanting the name of Amitabha Buddha or the mantra. I'm not boasting that I have great power and can do for how long, but Grandmaster is incredible. Simu would know. I would sleep whenever I want to sleep. I get on bed, lie down, being born in the Pure Land, abandoning all sufferings, Namo Amitabha, and then let the Golden Mother be in charge. 3 times, close my eyes, and then I would fall into sleep. I have no thoughts. No thoughts. And when I open my eyes, I don't even know where this is. I don't even know where I am when I open my eyes, and then I look around. Then I would know I'm on my bed in my home. I have no thoughts. Give me 20 minutes or 10 minutes, and I can sleep during that time. So you need to stop. You need to understand how to stop. If you cannot sleep, that means you cannot stop your thoughts. Then you will lose sleep. But if you can stop your thoughts, you can cut them off, then you can enter into sleeps. And you have no thoughts and no dreams at all. So because you have no dreams, you open your eyes, Even if you only sleep for 10 minutes, you feel as if you have slept all
那个
night.
时候体力就全部都恢复，
And your energy is back.
精神就非常的高昂。
And you're very energetic. You're rejuvenated.
20分钟，你就所有
Even
体力
only
全部
10 minutes or 20 minutes, you're rejuvenated.
你就可以全身都站起来。
Then all parts of your body can stand up. Of course, there's some parts.
70几岁、80几岁，就全身都站起来。
When for the elderly, 80 or 90-year-old,
你真正有修气的，
only one part of the body that
你到
don't stand up.
70岁、80
But
岁、
if you
90
practice
岁、
qi,
100岁，
even if you reach 70, 80, 90 or 100, then all parts of your body can stand up.
你是一般的。
But if you don't train in qi, then of
所
course
以我们是
you're
练
just
气
mundane people.
练气师的金
So we are qi practitioner.
啊，阿波了低格库的练气师，就是练气师
So
啊，布袋戏
qi practitioner. That's from the puppet show.
行动蛮高，金光相向，变的都阿波了低格库，连级上人。他住在朱哥坑啊，彰化朱哥坑。 其实他那地方啊，
So that's lines from the Taiwanese puppet show. So now he is listening to the dirty talk, to the place where Master Lianji is. Gossips.
八卦又是很不好的八卦，八卦山，他在八卦。
So that's also not good.
他的周围全部都是猪哥坑。
And then he's surrounded by the pig stalls.
挂山雷藏寺，大家知道。
So Guasan Lei Tsang Temple is in the
挂寮猪哥坑，连
Zhanghua. So Zhanghua is dirty talks, gossips area, around surrounded by pig stalls, and the Lianji
其实呢，
master.
不是在讲什么。
So where was I?
我刚刚是，我比喻这个是在比喻什么？
What was I making analogy of?
哦，全身站起来。我告诉你哦，
Oh,
一定要直。
whole body standing up.
你今天晚上，
So we have to stop.
那你惨了。
If you cannot sleep tonight, that means your thoughts kept running. That's why you cannot fall asleep. If you can stop your thoughts and you're single-minded, how could you not be able to fall asleep? You cannot fall into sleep because you have running thoughts and you cannot stop your thoughts. It's a simple concept, right? If you can stop your thoughts, you enter into single-mindedness and you fall into sleep. So this is analogy. So single-mindedness is the same as empty. Everything is empty. And at this time, Amitabha Buddha appears, being reborn in the pure Buddha land at this time. So Amitabha Buddha told me, starts from a few seconds until 1 minute, 5 minutes. If you can maintain it for 5 minutes, that's already very good. Single-pointedness for 5 minutes is very good. And then you do it for 5 minutes, another 5 minutes, another 5 minutes throughout the day. And then you are single-pointed many times throughout the day. So, at the time of death, you use your mastery of the single-pointedness for 5 minutes and think of the Buddha, then the Buddha would guide you to the Pure Land. So this is the words directly from the Buddha to me. You don't want to do it all day because those are all the false Buddhas. Only for a very short time, it's the true Buddha epitaph or Buddha recitation. Like there's an old lady that continue to recite Amida, Amida, Amida. And then there's a great thunder, and then she exclaims, only that one is the real one. The other one are the unreal one, the false one. Like that day, Simu, I was writing my articles around 10 a.m. and it was moving, and I thought earthquake. And then and then the doors inside the house, they all closed really loudly, and doors to the bathroom very loudly. And I thought, oh, this is a big earthquake. This is a real one. And this Amitabha is a real one. This Amitabha recitation is a real one. And then Simu running, coming in, and where are you? I said, I'm under the desk. I hid under the desk because this is no laughing matter. Because although we recite the Buddha Amitabha sincerely, but if the ceilings drop on my head, I cannot eat anymore. Because the mouth is on my head. I have to protect it. So I hid under the desk. So I really hid under the desk. One time in Seattle, there was an earthquake about 6.8. And Simu was in the Ganshai Ridge in Seattle. And she was also hiding under the desk. So don't laugh at me. Oh, that Grandmaster is hiding under the desk, and you also hid under the desk. So we are all equal. So that time was a big earthquake, and this time in Taichung, I never encountered earthquake bigger than that before. That what we felt in Taichung was about 5 on the Richter scale. So it was moving, so up and down, and that was quite bad because it was quite shallow. And then when I checked around the house, the crystal chandelier fell off, and the door just closed. And I went to the other house. All the drawers opened, as if there was a thief that opened all the drawers. Not the thief, but it was because of the earthquake. And the sariras spread on the ground, and also water and books and the bottles in the bathroom all tip over.
真的，第一次碰到这样子。
The first time I encountered such an experience, then I thought of one question, one issue. Grandmaster is in Taiwan. How could there be an earthquake here? That's quite an embarrassment. 6.1. It should come after I go back to Seattle. How come it happened now? But it's okay. In Taichung it's only 5. Although it's 6 in other places. So for Mahamayuri, there is a Dharma practice to alleviate earthquake. So if you take a kilogram of earth from the southern tip of Taiwan, take it back here to the temple, and from the northern tip of Taiwan, 1 kilogram of earth, and the western tip of Taiwan, Wuqi port, 1 kilogram, and take it here to the Taiwan Lei Tsang temple, and went to Taitung, and to the eastern tip of Taiwan, Yili, and take another kilogram of earth and bring it back here, and you start to recite mantra and do the Dharma practice to alleviate earthquake. And then you take the original earth back to the original place. So north, south, east and west, the right earth back to the right place, to the original place. Then you can stop the earthquakes from happening. So this is a Mahamayuri Dharma practice to stop the earthquake. But I'm telling you, so if you take a kilogram, it has to be exactly the same from what you took. So from north, south, east and west for a total of 4 kilograms. So Master Lianzi did the Dharma practice. So that's the responsibility of Master Lianzi, not Grandmaster Lu's. That's good. Why earthquakes still happen in Taiwan? 6 point something, that's already considered birth. Anything above 6. I have said this before in Seattle, that shouldn't be above 6. Earthquakes under 6 is okay, acceptable. But Master Lianzi had this had an opinion that the ash of the Grandmaster's Homa is very powerful. So he added the Homa ash to the earth from these different areas. But actually, for this Dharma practice, you have to take back exactly the same earth that you took. If you add to it whatever, then the earthquakes would still happen. It wouldn't work. But if you take back whatever you took, then the earth would be equal. Then the earth god would listen. But because you added something to it, the earth god would not listen to you anymore. So if you do it one time, you can only do this every 14 years. Only every 14 years. You cannot repeat it. So how long has it been? 5 years. So that's why it's not my problem. I've taught the Dharma practice, but actually we cannot blame Master Lianzi because he's good, he's a good person, and he's kind, and his heart is kind. He thought that by adding the Homa ash to it, adding Grandmaster's power, that would be more powerful, but he didn't think that you cannot add or subtract from it. So that was good deed. But this few years, at least this past 5 years, we haven't had big earthquake. So that should be to the credit of Master Lianzi for doing that Dharma practice. Only to let Grandmaster hit under the desk. There was a scares, but no harm. So Buddha Dharma practice is very important. You cannot increase or decrease it. The same with our spiritual cultivation. You just need to maintain it. Whether you overdo or underdo, those are not good. You just need to maintain the procedure, the process. Then you would definitely have attainments. So remember what I said today, what the Buddha instructed yesterday. Single-pointedness starts from a short period of time, and you do it until the thoughts start to appear. Then you know how long you can stay single-pointed. And every time you just do it for that long period of time, how many seconds or minutes. And then you do it frequently, you repeat it many times, and then you gradually increase it. And gradually lengthen the time. If you do it this way, you definitely could be free from the suffering of the 6 rebirth realms and arrive at the other shore with this mantra. Then you would definitely ride on the prajna boat and arrive at the other shore. So this is the key formula that's told by the Buddha. So if you have a thought coming in, then that would annihilate whatever you do. So whatever that you do, single-pointed without any thoughts occurring, that's the single-pointedness. So that's the instructions of Amitabha Buddha, Kuan Yin, and Master Dharma. And that's how you should also practice meditation. Don't think that sitting for a long time is the purpose, because if you sit there with a lot of thoughts running, that's useless. But if you sit for a short period of time but totally single-pointed, then with no thoughts whatsoever. That's the point. But if you sat and then you sit and then you have a thought coming, then you stand up and you walk around, and then later on you can sit again in meditation. And then when you have another thought coming, then you should stop. And if you practice this way in meditation, in the future you will definitely have attainments. So today, let me continue talking about Hevajra. when the 5 kinds of qi and the 5 sweet nectars, so 5 kinds of qi, the upper qi, the qi that's controlling the upper part of your body, that's called the upper qi, and the lower body qi, the qi that controls the lower part of the body, and the qi that's controlling all your body, that's called peripheral qi, and the heart qi, or the life qi, is the qi that's unmoved at the center. And the fire accompanying qi is the qi that accompany inner fire going up and down. There are 5 kinds of qi: upper qi, lower qi, peripheral qi, fire accompanying qi, and life qi. 5 kinds of qi. And 5 kinds of sweet nectars in your body. That's 5 kinds of light drops in your body. So 5 kinds of qi and 5 kinds of sweet nectars, when they all convene at the heart chakra would open gradually. Like the lotus bud that's gradually becoming an open lotus blossom. That's opening the heart chakra. At this time, you would comprehend the 5 kinds of Tathagatas. Tathagata are greed, anger, the 5 seeds, which is greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. They exist in your body. And when you completely eliminate these 5 seeds, 5 kinds of seeds, then they become Vairocana Buddha, Amoghasiddhi Tathagata, Ratnasambhava Tathagata, Amitabha Tathagata, and Akshobhya Tathagata. So the 5 seeds of Tathagata are the same as the 5 seeds of nature, which is the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride. So these days, when we wash our clothes, when clothes got dirty, we want to wash the clothes. That's wrong. So what is washing clothes? You're actually washing off the dirt of the clothes. So that's more accurate. You don't need to wash the clothes because the clothes are the clothes, and the clothes were originally clean. But because the dirt got on the clothes, then the clothes got dirty. It's the same concept. Buddha nature was originally clean, pure, though it is Tathagata. And because of the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride on your body, then you become dirty people. There's a joke. A foreigner asked another foreigner, "How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? 你几岁？ How old are you?" And then he said, "My husband is 32." The woman said, "I'm 30," and the husband said, "I'm 32." Or 30. And 32 sounds like dirty and 32. That's good. that human beings are dirty, and the Buddha nature is the clothes. And things that make the clothes dirty are the dirt. What you need to clean is the dirt, not the clothes. If you say you wash the clothes, there's no need to wash the clothes because the clothes will clean. But because they are contaminated or polluted by the dirt, so you want to wash off the dirt of the clothes. So you need to be clear on the logic here. And the Buddha nature was originally pure and clean, uncontaminated. But because of your greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride attached to it, then if you clean them off, you become the 5 kinds of Tathagata. Then you would understand that Buddha nature was originally pure. Because they got attached by the greed, anger, delusion, doubt, and pride, it becomes the 5 kinds of Tathagata. 5 kinds of. So at this time, the white light drops at the brow chakra and the red light drops at the secret chakra will increase swiftly. Grandmaster's white light drops and red light drops increase quickly. So Grandmaster's light drop inside the body increase very quickly and would radiate brilliant radiant. So when the white light drop is strong, it would emit a white radiance, and when the red light drops is strong, then it would emit the red light. Why would it increase? Because you do not leak them out. So my granddad bore a son at 60, and for me to bear a child at this age would be easy. If I want to, I could. I'm close to 70 now. It's very easy for me to give birth to a child, even when I'm 70.
After 10 years,
or
10年以后，80岁了，easy.
Or 10 years later, when I'm 80, it's still easy.
我还可以生孩子。
I could bear children.
再过10年。
Or even another 10 years.
After 20 years, easy. 90岁，还可以生孩子。
Even when I'm 90, I can still bear children.
100岁就挂在墙上。
But at 100, I would be hanging on the wall.
后面坐了。
I would be seated at the back.
流行性感冒也不影响。
Then there's no need to take any medicine. Would not be affected by any flu or cold. You continually increase your white light drops. You continually increase your red light drops. Both white and red light drops together. No problem. Someone told me,
Hong Kong people, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Japan, Taiwan people, 15 15分钟是吧？啊 ？15哦 ，15啊，差一点呢。Japanese, Taiwanese, 15. American people, United States American people, 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Hindu people is the 45 minutes. 45 minutes. 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. Not kidding, it's true. Not kidding, it's true. 为什么？无漏成就。
Why? Because I have attainments in non-leaking.
对不对啊？
Right?
师母要不要证明一下？
Simu, do you want to prove, you confirm it?
1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, no problem. It's easy. Not kidding. It's true. 不是骗你的，是真实的。别人会笑。
I am not lying. It's true. People may laugh. How could such things ever happen? Could it be true? Sure. If you are non-leaking, then you would increase your light drops, definitely. And the heart chakra will open, the brow chakra, the white light drops, and the red light drops at the secret chakra will increase tremendously. And one would see the sun and the moon of all the universe. It's not the sun and the moon of this solar system, but it's the sun and moon of the other world. And the light drops and inner fire and chi convene at the navel chakra. One would be able to see smoke, the flame, and the inner fire ignited, or a scorching flame, or like a kind of light on the earth, a clear sky. And sometimes you can see the celestial palaces and even the body of the Tathagata. Last night I saw the 3 deities of the Pure Land and taught me the key formula for single-pointedness, for single-mindedness. So today, you learn about that. So today, you know. So when you're non-leaking, you truly can experience great bliss. Why? Because with trembling, you can generate bliss, which is also relying on rubbing. So bliss is generated due to rubbing. So when chi, light drops, and inner fire are moving up and down inside your body, rubbing, and trembling the central channel, then you would experience the bliss. So this is the bliss of non-leaking. But the light drops inside the central channel would continue to tremble like this and continue to tremble for the whole day. Then you experience great bliss for the whole day. The bliss for most people are only for 1 minute, or 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, only for a few seconds, and then it's gone. It's gone. But when you train in non-leaking, when chi moves in the central channel, and the central channel trembling, and when it's rubbing, then you would experience the great bliss. And we have a fellow disciple, Lianhua Minglu, that experienced that. He saw his own light drop, he lifted up, and the central channels continue to tremble for the whole day, and he doesn't want to do anything else. He was so ecstatic. Only that would be called great bliss. But the bliss of most people is small potato chip. It's considered very, very small. And if you are attached to such bliss, it would be better to experience that great bliss when your central channel is trembling for the whole day. But even then, you should not be attached to it. You shouldn't be greedy toward it. Because gradually you transform the bliss into clear light, and from clear light to the empty nature, and then from empty nature to gain liberation, and then you have attainments in the Bodhi path and the liberation path. And then from the clear light, Buddha nature, then you attain Buddhahood. It is difficult to explain this, of course. This morning, Simu told me there are 3 difficult things on earth. One is to earn living. There are not many Bill Gates, which is a rich person of Taiwan. Not very many rich people. But if you earn a lot of money, then you have high status, because even the news would like to report on you. Like Grandmaster's attainments are not bad, but I am not being reported in the news. But those who are rich are often reported in the news. So for us, doesn't matter how good our spiritual practice is, that we are not reported on the news. So it is difficult to make money. Not very many people who become a true wealthy people. There are many wealthy people in the world. We only recognize those in Taiwan. How about in Japan? Well, because Japan is close to us, maybe we know a few. How about from mainland China? We are not sure. How about from Europe? You don't know. Right? So it's regional. But it really is difficult to make money. Second is to be a person. So it's me, how to be an acceptable person in the society. That's quite hard. And the third difficult thing is spiritual cultivation. Nobody could see, but to have attainments in your spiritual cultivation is really difficult. But Grandmaster says you really can have attainments in your spiritual cultivation. You can truly go to the other shore. Go to the other shore. You can be liberated from the sufferings of the 6 rebirth realms and attain Buddhahood. Although there are only very few who could, but it really can be accomplished. If you follow Grandmaster's Dharma teaching, you can definitely have these attainments. So what I'm teaching you are truth and they are very realistic too. So don't even have time to tell jokes. It's already an hour and 20 minutes. I haven't even told any jokes. Om Mani Padme Hum.